And it's another episode of Product Management 101 with Temini Kanlayo. Hello, gorgeous girls and beautiful boys, men and women. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. How have we been? It's been 2 weeks, and within that period, Arsenal won the Premier League. I'm super, super excited. Shout out to the Arsenal team. Shout out to every other team that won one or two trophies this season. It was an incredible season. Incredible season. But shout out to everybody. If your team won something this season, shout out to you. All right, so let's get into it. Let's just talk about. So I decided that to close this month, let's just talk about this for someone that is going into a new role as a product manager. This would be very, very helpful to you. So when I became a product manager, I thought I was walking into a job about strategy, frameworks, and shipping cool features. The reality was nothing like that. It is always nothing like that, and I want to save you the years it took me to figure that out. I think it was around a year plus, just a year and few months, maybe a month. Yeah. So yeah, five things I genuinely wish someone had told me before I became a product manager, right? So yes, five things I wish I knew before becoming a product manager. That's what we are going to be talking about today. So yes, like I said, my name is Temini Kolayo and I am a product manager on this channel. What I do is I help aspiring and early entry level product managers break into and grow in the field. Okay, with a Nigerian lens, you won't get from most PM creators, right? Because I actually checked a lot of PM creators, and it was mostly from outside Nigeria and not so many within Nigeria, right? So if you are trying to get into product management, you are in your first year and you are feeling lost, this video is for you. You should save it, share it, and let's just get into it. Now, the first lesson is the job title doesn't tell you what the job is. You see that product manager. In fact, you'll be people managing. So the job title doesn't tell you what the job is. Product manager is the most inconsistent job title in tech. Exactly. At one company, you are basically a project manager. You are chasing this deadlines. You're updating tickets. You are writing status reports. At another, you are a mini CEO. You are owning P&L, talking to customers, making strategic bets. And at the third company, right, you are a glorified backlog groomer who can't make a single decision without three approvers. Now, it is the same title, but three different jobs, right? Now, the mistake I made early on was assuming PM meant just one thing. I would read books and listen to podcasts about strategy and all of those things. Then I would walk into the job that was 80% Jira hygiene and feel like I was failing. You feel like you have this textbook knowledge that, oh, this is how product management is meant to be. Then you get into it and you're like, but it's not like this. I'm just doing, like, they will ask you, what have you done today? You'll be like, oh, I just updated some Jira tickets. I just spoke to, it's quite different from what you read in the textbook. I wasn't failing, right? I just had a different version of the job than the one I had prepared for. What I would tell my younger self is, in your first week, ask three questions. What does success look like in this role? What's the biggest problem you hired me to solve? And who do I need to convince before anything ships? So the answer to those three questions tell you what kind of product management or product manager role you actually have. So it's not a title, not a job description, those three answers. Now, lesson number two, stakeholder management is 60% of the job. Stakeholder management, because if they don't say yes, if you don't get their buy-in, then you are not going anywhere. It is actually 60% of the job. Now, stakeholder management is 60% of the job, not 10%. Some people will tell you that 10%, or the other thing is like 90%. It is not. They are the core people that you need to get on your side before you can do anything. Now, when I first read about product management, every article talked about frameworks. You learn thing about Rise. I have a video on Rise, Moscow, North Star metrics. I thought being a product manager meant I would spend my days thinking deep thoughts about users and writing brilliant strategy documents. It's reality. My day was conversations, like repeating the same idea in three different formats for three different audiences. convincing engineering that a feature was worth building, convincing design to compromise, convincing leadership we needed more time, convincing customer support to be patient, convincing myself that I wasn't going crazy. Because see, when you are convincing everybody, even you when you sit down, you're like, am I still okay? So nobody warns you that the thinking part of PM is maybe 20% of the work. The other 80% is communicating, aligning, repeating, and managing the politics of getting that thinking turned into something real or valuable, right? So if you hate meetings, you hate writing the same thing five different ways, and you hate explaining your reasoning to people who did not read the documents, engineers, developers, product management will burn you out. So if you actually enjoy bringing people along on a journey, you will thrive. So you should understand that that's just like the difference. Now the third lesson is I don't know is a senior skill. I don't know is a senior skill. Saying I don't know is a senior skill, not a junior weakness, right? When I started, I thought I had to have an answer for everything. If someone asked me, why are we building this? I would make something up that sounded confident. If someone asks, when will it ship? I would give a date ad not validated. If someone asks, what do users think? I would say something vague about feedback we had gathered, right? I was bluffing. And I thought bluffing was what good PMs did. In fact, you hear some people tell you that, oh, as a product manager, should be able to bluff. You should be able to, I don't know, but the most senior PM I've ever worked with had a different move. When someone asks her something she did not know, she would say, I don't know. Let me find out and come back to you by Friday. Every time. And by Friday, she always had the answer. That single habit built more trust with her team and her stakeholders than any framework she had ever used. And if you are new to PM, right, please hear this. Nobody expects you to know everything. They expect you to be honest about what you know, honest about what you don't, and reliable about closing the gap. That's it. That's just the move. Something happened few days ago. I've tested this application. It was fine. The person that gave us the endpoint tested, like everybody tested. It worked fine. We had a demo. It worked fine. Everybody, we have used that feature and it was fine. So we just felt like, oh, everything is fine. QA already said, cool, fine, we've moved on. Tell me why few days ago the developer was just we're having this conversation. The developer just dropped something concerning that feature. This same developer that we all tested and was like, oh, this thing is not working. Then my team lead had to come to me and say, Alpha, I just told you. I said, to be honest, I don't know because that's the truth. I don't know. But then I had it. I said, I'm going to get across to W so that we can bring it back up at that moment, in that present moment, you don't know. Or you saying you are just going to rub yourself into what you don't know. So I told him, don't worry about it. I don't know about this. If it was brought to me, we would have cleared this. But I don't know, but we are gonna get something. So it is fine to say you don't know, but just provide like a recommendation or suggestion or something to make them see that you are not that stupid. You can get things done. Now, the fourth lesson is data driven is often a cover for I am scared to decide. And this one might actually ruffle some feathers. Data driven is sometimes a cover for I'm scared to make a decision. We always want to hide on that data. And I'm not saying it's wrong. Oh. In fact, I'm always saying it's not your gut feeling or I perceive it. It's definitely data. But sometimes, right? Let's get into it. I've sat in rooms where we had enough information to ship something useful, and instead we ran another survey, another A/B test, another round of user interviews. Not because the data would change our mind, but because nobody wanted to be the person who said, "Let's just decide." Data is supposed to inform decisions. It's not supposed to replace them. The best PMs I've worked with had strong opinions. They would say, I think we should build X because Y. And then they would use data to test whether they were right. They weren't waiting for data to tell them what to do. They were using data to challenge what they already believed. Can you see it? So it's not like you're waiting for data to tell you. You already know that, okay, fine, this is, you've got it, you've done everything. You just need data to back up that decision. Not like data is meant to be the one to decide for you what you need to do. I don't know if you get me. So if you find yourself constantly asking for more research before you commit to a direction, ask yourself this honest question. Am I waiting for data or am I waiting for permission? Now, there's a huge difference, and one of them will keep you stuck at the same level for years. Now, this fifth one, I don't know, but let's just say it. Your career grows faster outside your company. And this one is uncomfortable, but it is the truth. Yeah, your career grows faster outside your current company than inside it. I used to believe in loyalty. Of course, I'm still loyal. I thought if I worked hard, stayed long, proved myself, I'll be rewarded with growth, promotions, bigger scope, and more money. The truth is that most companies reward loyalty with stability, not growth. The fastest way to a senior PM role is really to wait for an internal promotion. It is to take what you've learned, package it into a strong story, and move. I'm not saying that you should not start job up, you go, you do 3 months, yeah, you do 6 months. That's not what me I'm saying, no. My current company, I've been there for like 3, 4 years, and I don't think I'm ready to leave. I'm just telling you that for you to grow faster, it is always outside, right? I'm not saying that you should job up, like I said, every 6 months. That looks unstable. And to be honest, it is. But every 2 to 3 years, be honest about what you've learned, what you can still learn there. You see that I'm not saying that you should leave, but 2 to 3 years, do some sort of evaluation. What have you learned? What have you done? What have you achieved in this company? What you can still learn there. If you feel like you've not gathered enough knowledge, why do you want to leave? You can still stay and build and continue. And whether the next step exists for you at your current company. So within 2 to 3 years, you need to do that kind of evaluation. Like, tell yourself the truth. Now, the PMs will level up fastest are not the most loyal, they are the most intentional. And one more thing, your network of former colleagues is the strongest, the single biggest asset of your PM career. The people you work with today will hire you, refer you, and recommend you for the next 20 years. So you need to treat every relationship like it matters because it does. I have people that I worked with when I was in the bank that still reach out to me that, Alpha, there is this role, there is, and like, oh no, I don't do that. This is what I'm currently doing. So those people will actually be the one to help you in your journey. Maybe not PM, whatever role, they will still be there with you. Now, so those are the 5 things I wish I knew before becoming a product manager. If even one of this is, do me a favor, leave a comment telling me which one. I read every single one, and your comments help me make better videos for you. So if you are serious about getting into product management or growing in your first PM role, my people at Cherryview Tech, they are running a 3 month product management training, and it's meant to start in June. So they've expanded the number to 15. It was initially 10, but they've increased it to 15. So I think they are waiting for just 5 more people to start in June. And I am also going to be like a product management tutor. So if you want to hear more about this, you should just join the cohort for June. You can follow them on Instagram, TikTok. I think it's Cherryview Tech. I'm going to put their handle and just send them a DM. They are going to communicate everything. It's 3 months. It's 300,000. And yes, on Instagram you can chat them up. So subscribe if you want weekly PM content built for people like you. Drop a comment, share this video, like, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. And that was an exciting one. I can't wait to talk to you guys the next time we see. Be safe and ensure that you do something valuable this week. Bye.